Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. Tonight I want to talk to you guys about all the stuff that I'm thinking about reading in the month of October. So there are a couple of fun reading events going on in October that I'm really excited about. The first one is my event that I have started. This is the first year and it is Gothic October, and it is a classics version. So basically we're just reading Gothic literature that was written during a time that you consider to be a time period of classics. So you get to pick what you consider to be a classic, because everybody has a different, point of view, and I'm not trying not to make it too hard on anybody. But for me, my time period is going to be anything that was published before 1970. So anything before that is a classic in my mind for this challenge. And so you guys just pick your time period and then pick your books. There are some prompts. You guys can see everything over at my Gothic October announcement video that I'll put down in the description box. But I hope you participate in that because I think it's going to be really fun. And it does kind of overlap with the second reading event that I have been taking part in the last couple of years, and that is Victober. That one, in my mind, is mainly hosted by Katie at Books and Things and her 9 co-hosts. I don't know if she actually started it with some other people, but she's just like the Victober girl in my head. So I will put her link down below as well. And for Victober, you're basically reading things that were published during the Victorian age in the UK. So they can be about other things. They don't have to be about that time period, but they need to have been published during that time period by authors who were, Victorians. So the things that the Victorians would have been reading, basically. And so, some of my Gothic stuff will overlap. I've got a couple other things on this list that are not, actually don't fit in either one of those, but I was just thinking about kind of looking at this month. So let's just go ahead and get into that. First, I will show you the stuff that I'm thinking about specifically for Victober. Now, Victober has 10 prompts this year, and I haven't actually taken the time to match up my books with the prompts yet. I will probably honestly read them and then match them up with the prompts, just because I do have another pile that won't even apply to Victober, and so I just don't want to get myself too overwhelmed, right, in that one, and then not, neglect the other one and whatever. So I think I've got maybe 8 here, and I'll just fit them where they fit. So the first one, I was thinking about rereading Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. I haven't read this in quite a while. This one also actually does work with Gothic October, as there is a house and a Miss Havisham, and need I say more? I love this story. I haven't read it in years. So as I was kind of looking through my shelves, trying to pick out things for another video, I saw that and I was like, maybe I want to reread Great Expectations. So I'm thinking about doing that. One of the prompts for Victober is to read a play or a poem written by a Victorian. I have this collection by Oscar Wilde. This is The Ballad of Reading Gaol and Other Poems. And you don't know how many times I have either said the battle of Reading Gaol or the battle of Reading Gaol. I can't ever get it Reading and Ballad. That's hard to say, but I did it. So this one I heard about, I can't even remember how long ago I heard about this on somebody's channel. So I wanted to read that. He's great and I want to read it. So got that on my list. Next is something that I had on my tentative TBR for September that I just haven't got to yet, and I may still, but if I don't, Florence Nightingale's little essay on the angry outcry against the forced idleness of Victorian women. So this is called Cassandra, and it again is a pretty short one. I had put it on my list because of Shorty September, and yeah, it's less than 60 pages also, but it's just a little essay that she wrote about the forced idleness of Victorian women, like a concept we don't even think about, right? We're forced not to do stuff. Forced to not stay busy or productive. That's so weird, right? That's even a concept today's women, we don't even know. Can't even imagine that. So I'm looking forward to that. One of my daughters has been reading and studying Florence Nightingale, and so I may give this to her after I'm done. I would also like to continue reading through Emily Bronte's poems. I've been reading through this for like 2 years. I'm just really slowly reading them, but I don't necessarily even want to rush, and I don't even really care, but I would like to get a little further in them because I haven't picked this up for a long time. This is another book that I have on my Gothic October list. This is Hide and Seek by Wilkie Collins. I love everything I've ever read by him, so I'm looking forward to reading this as well. Some of these, guys, I don't even know. October is still like 4 days away, and I'm just thinking I might not be able to wait that long. I might just have to start some of these now. Another one for my Gothic October, but also Victober, is The Prisoner of Zenda by Anthony Haupt. I've had this on my TBR for quite a few years, and so I'm thinking that it's time to get to it because it's not very long. I don't know why I keep putting it off. It's about 170 pages, and I think that I might like it. I don't know. It sounds actually very fantastical. So we'll see. Sometimes it's really hit or miss. Sometimes I love stories like that, and sometimes I'm just like, get me out of this. Usually if there's no mythical beings, I'm good. If they start bringing in like things that couldn't actually exist, you know, like I've never actually seen that before, then I struggle because I can't imagine it. It doesn't seem realistic to me. All right, and then I was thinking about rereading some of Elizabeth Gaskell's Gothic tales. I have read this collection before, but I was kind of more of the mindset of I just want to get through this rather than I want to savor and enjoy these. And so a lot of them I don't remember. But there are some that I just didn't get also. Like I can't remember the name of it, but there's one of these that the whole thing is like allegories on British children fairy tales. I'm like, I don't know those, right? And like British children nursery rhymes. So like specific to, you know, England or whatever. So I didn't understand the allusions because I didn't know the stories to begin with, right? Which is exactly why we just keep reading, because eventually I'll come across that stuff and read it, and then I'll come back and read this and I'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I get it now. But I did like Lois the Witch. And again, that's an example of a Victorian story written, you know, during the Victorian times, but about a different time period, right? So it still counts. In fact, this story takes place in America, right? Because it's during the Salem witch trials, but still counts because it's written by a Victorian in the land of the Victorians. And then I also have read a couple of times The Old Nurse's Story. I read that last December and the December before. So anyway, I might pick up a couple of those. We'll see. All right, so that is it for my Victober stack. And then I've picked out a couple of books, I think 3 here, that aren't related to Victorians or Gothics or anything, but they are books that I just kind of want to dip in and out of, I think. So this one, I've had this on my TBR since the summer. This is Rooted, and it's just a book about nature, and they're little essays. And so I think I just kind of want to read one every now and then and see what I think. And if I like them, then I'll keep going. And if I don't, then I will DNF, right? That's like a big duh. That's what we do. But I've had that forever and I just haven't got into it yet. And then I have this one, Notes from Walnut Tree Farm. This one actually has little, they're not even really even essays. They're just little thoughts, right? They're like things that we would write, we would jot down in our journal or in a commonplace book or something, where they're just little bits. But this guy, it was his journal entries over the course of, I think it says 6 years. This guy, Roger Deakin, for the last 6 years of his life, he kept a journal. And then these are just like little excerpts of some of, you know, the best things or whatever. And it's divided into months. And so I'm thinking about just going ahead and starting that in October and reading, you know, the portion that goes with each month. I got this recommendation from Debs at Raina Read Stuff, and she really enjoyed this, and so I thought that I would pick it up and try it out as well. And then finally, for my books that have no event to go with them, Followed by the Lark by Helen Humphreys. This one is a fictional story about Henry David Thoreau, and I just feel like he goes with fall. In fact, I'm getting ready to make a video about 20 books to read in the fall, and one of them is Walden. So yeah, this is the collection that I have, and it's his essays, right, all collected in this book called Wilde. And anyway, whenever, I mean, obviously, right, it even looks fall, but I always think of him when I think of the fall. And so I'm gonna read, hopefully, this short little fictional tale about him. These books even look really great together. Like, don't you think? They just kind of look good. Like they all match kind of. They'll look good on the shelf together. And you know what else looks really good with this is this one. This is The Country of Pointed Firs. Like that just is such a mood. That whole thing. Unfortunately, this is set in the summer, so can't read it. Can't read that one yet. Gotta wait. Those are my orphan books who have no event to participate in. They're just the ones that I'm thinking I want to read. And then my Gothic October, I'll just show you real quick. I've got Rebecca. That's going to be the group read that we're going to do for the Gothic October. There's a Discord. You guys can see the link down in the description box for my Discord if you want to get on that. But we're going to read Rebecca Together by Daphne du Maurier. And that'll be a fun reread. And then I've also got this one on there, Edgar Allan Poe and his collection of writings. And I don't think I'll read everything, but I'm gonna try to focus a little bit more on poetry this time around because usually I'm only reading his stories. But as I'm looking through this now, there's not, oh, I guess there are a few poems in here. So yeah, I think I'm going to focus more on the poems, and I think I'm going to avoid the murders in the Rue Morgue because for some reason, and the fall of the House of Usher, because I don't know what my problem is, but I just get so bored with those stories. The ones that I really love are like the Cask of Amontillado. That's like my favorite one. It's just so creepy. Yeah, I like The Pit and the Pendulum and the Cask of Amontillado. Those for sure I'm definitely going to read. I don't know what else, but those two for sure, because those are my two favorites. All right, and then I went into this a little bit more in detail, but this is my stack of vintage Gothics from my mom that I have not yet read. So she gave me a whole bunch of her vintage Gothics, and so I must read them. So that is kind of what gave me the idea to do Gothic October in the first place, because I just really want to read those, and that's what I'm saying. I'm probably not even going to wait until the first. I'm just going to kind of start early because I'm really in the mood for some Gothic literature, and I want to go through those ones from my mom. What I'm not going to do. So usually I participate in a couple other reading events for the month. I usually participate in the two events that Anne over at In Search of Wonder that she has going on each month. She does a classics challenge, and then she does a 250th birthday celebration for Jane Austen that she's been doing all year long. For the Jane Austen celebration this month, the group is reading The Mysteries of Udolpho by Anne Radcliffe. And I really want to read that, but I can't participate because I have that on the birthday list that I gave to my husband, because my birthday is October 23rd. And so I gave him my birthday list, and now I don't know if he's going to buy it or not. And so I can't go buy it and read it, and then he buys it. You know, that'd be horrible. So alas, if I don't have Mysteries of Udolpho by October 23rd, I might just like Amazon 2-day deliver it and read it really fast at the end of the month. We'll see. So that's why I'm not committing to that one yet. And then the other one is her classics challenge, and the prompt is to read a fantasy or a time travel. Now, I did say that The Prisoner of Zenda seemed like a fantasy sort of novel. So if it is super fantastical, then that one can count. Otherwise, I don't think I have anything on here. All right, but on that note, I did want to tell you guys about a book that I somehow forgot to include in my weekly wrap-up when I read it like months and months ago. And it's just been sitting on the shelf, and I've been like, you know, I need to put that in a video somewhere. So this is the perfect place to put it. If you have not yet read The House on the Strand by Daphne du Maurier, read it. This is a really good time travel novel that's not super like sci-fi fantasy. It's, I don't know, like it's what would happen if Daphne du Maurier wrote a time travel novel. So this book is pretty great, and I don't think she actually says exactly what time period he travels back to, but it's like medieval times. I won't give any spoilers, but it's like a gentle time travel / historical novel, and it's great. Like, I don't know, I love the story. I've read it twice. It's really good. So if you're looking for a time travel story to read for Anne's challenge, maybe pick up House on the Strand. But maybe pick it up in a version that doesn't have such teeny tiny print, because I can't read this at night because I don't have enough light. And then the other challenge that I normally do each month is my own children's classic reading challenge, which I am probably gonna flake on for September. I'm just not in the mood to read Pinocchio. But for October, it is The Princess and the Goblin by George MacDonald. And the problem is I have no idea. I have no idea where I put the books for that. I had all of the books for that challenge together in one place on a shelf over here. But then I rearranged my whole library, and now they're in a really safe place where I won't lose them, and also I won't find them. So if I can find The Princess and the Goblin by George MacDonald before the end of October, I will read that. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to read it. So you guys can all pray for me. All right, that's it. That's what I'm reading in October, I think. Or, like I said last month, I might just bag the whole thing and read what I want. But right now, this is what I want. This is what I want to read. So hopefully that feeling will stick around long enough for me to enjoy a few of these. I've got a pretty chill October ahead. Our family is actually going on vacation for like 10 days in October. We're going camping, and well, we got an Airbnb, but it's in the country and there's a fire pit. So I'm saying that we're going camping. Usually we go camping every fall, but this time we got an Airbnb just to kind of, you know, be kind of cozy, be a little bit more bougie this year. But we are gonna go do that, and there's lots of free time built into those 10 days. We do have some fun things that we're gonna do, and I will, you know, make some videos and show you guys the stuff that we're doing. But for the most part, we're just chilling out. And so I'm hoping to have lots of quiet reading time and knock out a whole bunch of these books as I'm watching the leaves fall from the trees on the pond, and my family out fishing and kayaking, and me in the chair getting rained on by beautiful autumn leaves. It's gonna be cozy. I can't wait. It's gonna be cozy. I can't wait. All right. Hope you guys are having a great day. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.